Hi, I'm Teen Librarian Shalea Young. On behalf of the DC Public Library, welcome to GoGo Sound of Summer. We are thrilled to host Teach for Change here at the newly renovated Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library for this three-part series on the foundation, impact, and evolution of GoGo music. Here at MLK Library, the rich history of GoGo is kept here within the People's Archive, alongside over 200 years of DC history and culture. We hope this program will encourage you to listen, learn, and love GoGo as much as we do. Visit us at dclibrary.org/GoGo to learn more and even contribute to the history of GoGo in the district. Thank you and enjoy the program.
Hi, I'm Keisha from Teaching for Change, located here in Washington, D.C. We are a K-12 education nonprofit serving teachers, parents, and students to change the world by rethinking the experiences inside and outside their classrooms. One of our signature initiatives is Teach the Beat, where we bring the distinctive sound of DC to the classroom. We are thrilled to collaborate with the DC Public Library, expanding the reach of the classroom experience with GoGo Sound of Summer. Enjoy!
Thank you for joining us as we bring you GoGo Sound of Summer, brought to you by the DC Public Library and Teaching for Change's project, Teach the Beat, bringing GoGo to the classroom in the DC metro area. Through this three-part series, we'll spend time with the pioneers and active artists in GoGo, breaking down what makes GoGo the official music of DC. An expression, an experience, and an evolution. This segment will highlight the expression of GoGo, grounding the sound, the beat, the rhythms, and the way GoGo is communicated. The synergy of the instruments, the band, the artists, and the participation of the audience. GoGo brings connection. GoGo is a connected experience. GoGo's evolution in terms of sound, rhythm, and songs.
GoGo music is not only a unique blend of beats and rhythms, but it's also layered with multiple instruments, each having its own distinct identity. With that, I'd like to introduce you to the GoGo musical makeup. First, we're gonna have the drums played by none other than Mr. Juju House. Accompanying that pocket, next we'll have on bass none other than Sugar Bear. Give me that bass. Now we're gonna sprinkle some keys on those drums and that bass. We're gonna bring in Leroy Scooter Taylor on keys. Just feel that groove, y'all. You can't have GoGo without the congas. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of the conga element, and thus you have the GoGo beat.
how we get excited when we recall our first go-go memory. What was yours? Sugar Bear, how you doing, brother?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Man, it's such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you.
This wonderful program that we have going on.
Yes.
I want to dive straight into it and ask you a couple of questions. First, starting with, what was your first experience or your first encounter with go-go?
When I met Chuck Brown at the Panorama Room.
Okay.
Yeah. We opened up for him. And that was a great experience.
Oh, the pops, I bet.
And I learned a lot from him, you know, right there. He told me, he said, man, y'all can play, but you got to play what people want to hear. We was playing originals and top 40s, I mean, and rock and roll music.
Right.
You know, nobody want to hear that, you know, but it worked. So I listened and I watched him and learned like that.
So at what point did you transition your sound from playing the styles of Mandrill and Jimi Hendrix and all that over to what we know
3
as
days
go-go?
later. 3 days later, yeah, we went to rehearsal. I said, we got to switch up, man. You want to survive out here, this is what's happening.
And actually, how young were you when you first started playing?
Like 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue High School's best.
What is it that you feel that is why go-go is so infectious to these other artists and to these other styles of music? What is it that they love so much about this rhythm?
The beat move. The beat moves you.
Okay.
And I mean, even Beyonce with Crazy in Love, that was an introduction to being a solo artist.
Right.
And that record took off because of the beat.
It did, yeah.
But they never give go-go credit. They never do.
Wow.
But unfortunately, we know, and they know, but they ain't gonna say it, but we know.
My last question to you is, why do you still love go-go to this day? I mean, you're such a unique bass player. Well, you play other styles of music, but what is it about go-go that, you know, that just keeps you there? Why do you love it so much?
The party, the atmosphere. Again, you know, you see the smiles on people's faces.
Right.
They dancing to your music, your beats, and your chants and all that. They call and response. And all the love they give us, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing this for a very long time. And a lot of artists don't even perform no more. But I'm still doing it because of the love people give us and how much they appreciate our culture. You know, because they know they're getting real bass players, real drummers, real congos, not no sequences, not no turntables. They seeing us play live. And I think they feel it like that. They feel it better. And they receive it and they like, wow, old school is back. That's what's happening.
And you've been doing this for how many years now?
This is our 50th anniversary. To God be all the glory. Yes.
You heard it from EU's
The
own
beat don't stop, that's proof.
Sugar Bear.
The beat don't stop. You heard me?
Let's talk about the pocket beat. What's a pocket beat? A pocket beat is when the drummer and the conga player have really, really locked together on the one. And when we talk about the one, we're talking about the count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you have these two percussive instruments come together and they are just really, really in sync and they're connecting, and that allows the other instruments to come and to just layer on top of that, where they're establishing what we call a groove. That's what you call a pocket. Now let's get into the socket. What's a socket? Is the socket a beat? Is it a feeling? The socket is all of that. The socket is when the pocket beats really get broken down. And when I mean broken down, I mean just let's cut everything out where it's just drums and percussion, and there's a cowbell that's really, really, really driving this rhythm. And the percussion is heavily pronounced. That's what you have when you play a socket beat. Go-go is built off of socket beats. Socket beats can really allow you to just go wild and free. And again, the socket beat is also one of those things that when you feel it, you just you feel really good, and you just want to dance and move and groove and really get into the rhythm. Does anybody out there know what a bounce beat is? Bounce beat is an evolutionary rhythm in go-go. It's what a lot of the younger generation is really listening to and bopping their heads to. The bounce beat is a continuous break. There's a lot of timbales and rototoms being played with the bounce beat. The bounce beat sometimes reminds me of old Motown rhythms. The bounce beat is typically a slower tempo. The bounce beat allows you to beat your feet to it. So when we think about bounce beat, we think about groups like TCB, UCB, MOB, XIB. Those groups have perfected the bounce beat. We all know the drummer Polo. We all hear bounce beats influence on artists like Beyonce's Crazy in Love and Amerie's One Thing. The bounce beat is very influential, and it continues to evolve. It continues to bring about dance, and there's a whole culture being built off of bounce beat.
So, is there a difference between a pocket beat and a socket beat? Give me a pocket beat. Give me a pocket beat. What about playing something that we know that the kids would love? Bounce beat. And one of my favorites, Work the Walls. I know you have your own distinct rhythms, right? Let's hear some rhythms that you yourself created. I know you created the bounce beat. Can I play a little bit with you? All right. you transition. I would love to hear how GoGo transitions into different rhythms and beats. This is called Bridges and Changes. The progression.
Juju, what's going on? You know, when you mentioned Mr. Magic earlier, of course, Mr. Magic being is the rhythm that really is the catalyst or the start for GoGo, correct?
Yeah, that is our national anthem.
And can you explain Can you explain that?
Well, I don't think. Well, I can't say the bounce beat bands don't know this because a lot of the bounce beat bands also play pockets too. So a lot of people like to say the bounce beat bands, they can't play nothing else. No, that's not true. They play pockets. They do play pockets, but that pocket that's the national anthem. That's dum, 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 dum. That's like Muhammad Ali.
Staple classic GoGo rhythm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you listen to the record,
and
listen to what we're doing, we just up the antes on it, the different rhythms we play and how we flow. GoGo is played with the rhythms, timing behind each other. And see, a lot of people can't get it is because they think they hear and Congo playing, everybody's playing. That's not how GoGo is actually played. It's good. When he does da-da, I'm not playing.
Right. It's just like it's weaving.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going so fast. So when people hear it, they think, oh, I can play that.
Right.
But when they sit down and actually do it and to listen to 3 people doing this at the same time, none of us is hitting on the same downbeat. Near one of us.
Right.
So when he's going boom, he's going bop.
Right.
And I'm going boom.
Right.
Baby.
Right.
So boom, baby. Boom, boom. Baby. Boom, boom. Seeing that's going fast, you will never know it.
How important do you think is the cowbell to the GoGo sound? This one little instrument, the cowbell. How important do you think that is to this sound? When I listen to music like Afro-Cuban and Latin music, I know that the cowbell and the clave, that's like the driver to that.
Right.
You know, do you feel that GoGo it serves a similar role, the cowbell?
Cowbell is just like the Congos. Cowbell has its own anvil case.
Right.
Without the cowbell, I mean, there's a lot of things that will never happen.
Yeah.
Like the youngins say, socket or pocket.
Right.
Without the socket, you can go without the cowbell.
Right.
Well, the pocket, you can go without the cowbell, but that socket, you bringing that cowbell there, or it's gonna be a problem.
And that's important because that explains even the differences between socket and pocket.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's unique.
Right, yeah.
You know, a little birdie also told me, I'm not gonna say his name, GoGo Mickey.
That's my man, I love Mickey.
Yeah, that's my guy, another GOAT. He actually told me that you are responsible for originating what we know now as the bounce beat. Is that true?
Now, I ain't gonna say now, I'm gonna keep it quiet.
But Mickey,
I'm gonna keep it quiet. But I'll tell you this, we were doing polo, took bounce to a new level. But we were playing that way. Nothing's really what you call new. We just recreate. And how I remember when I first did that, Sugar Bear was like, man, what you doing, man? Come on, man, stop that.
Right.
And then we started doing the bop bop and the bounce.
Right.
You know, we were bouncing and Then all of a sudden, and this was Maisha and the Hip Huggers, which was way before, because none of the bands, so just check this out. Nobody in DC was playing, okay? Let me correct this, and I know for a fact.
Right.
Well, nobody in DC playing because none of the clubs would have go-go bands.
Yeah.
It came to a freeze. When I came back home off a tour, it was frozen. Only bands was actually getting through is, I think it was Junkyard, Chuck, Rare Essence. Everything else was kind of like, and they were having problems. You know, Chuck would do 1 or 2, maybe 3 out of that month, you know. I mean, everything was just frozen. Clubs didn't want the go-go bands. Everybody was afraid because thinking something was going to happen.
Violence and all, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, when we dropped that album, the first time ever.
And which album was that?
The Bounce.
The Bounce, okay.
Yeah. Mark Barnes has never had a go-go band in his club.
I remember Mark Barnes. He was
Right.
a club promoter here in
Right.
DC, yeah.
And you know the club right here,
Right,
right off New York Avenue,
Yeah.
never had a go-go band.
right,
Maisha and the Hip Huggers played there.
right.
We're the only band, and this is fact, 7 nights, 2 years straight. 7 nights.
Playing
I
every
had to
day.
get Sugarfoot Rick and Milton to play drums for me because I was just done.
Wow,
Yeah, 7
Wow.
nights, 2 years straight.
wow. That's
And
amazing.
Bounce came from a thing we were doing. I actually saw Sex Pistols,
Yeah.
and they were doing. I'm like, I like that. Then we did that Bounce, baby. That's how it came about.
Wow.
And Polo and them actually had, I think it was, then actually early Northeast Groovers actually played that really slow. They would speed it up, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nothing. But Polo actually took it to the next level,
Nice.
no doubt.
Well, I'm sure you got a bunch of good stories.
Oh
and,
man.
and we just
We
look.
be all
We
day.
look forward. Well, we look forward to you coming back and sharing more stories, man. But you gotta
Okay.
promise us that you come back again.
I'm coming down, coming back for
All
the
right.
kids.
All right,
Coming for the
everybody.
kids, man.
William Juju House, you know, drummer extraordinaire, EU
Right on.
Chuck Brown, and then some. Thank you so much, man.
Keep Go-Go live.
Keep it alive. Join us next week for our next episode as we hear from EU's own Juju and Sugar Bear. But until then, ask your family member or your neighbor, what was their first go-go memory? Tweet us your first go-go memory at DCPL. We'll see you next week.